All right, so here it is. Here is the power heart rate debate, and this is power and heart rate data in an interval session. Okay, yeah, so this paper, I think there was still this kind of debate going around, like how important are power meters? So we published this paper about 5 years ago, and power meters still weren't 100% accepted in cycling. In cycling they are, I guess in mountain biking they really weren't. So we just wanted to start to talk about why that was happening in the early days and why it might still be happening now. But we think power meters are one of the best ways to measure exercise, but it's really complemented by heart rate.
Like this is a common debate, I guess, that someone's going to rage against heart rate, where we look and this individual's doing a bunch of sprints, right? So they got 5 sprint intervals of around 10, 20 seconds, and with 45 seconds. So a full minute, you got 10 seconds, then 50 seconds recovery, and of course heart rate's not going to recover. There's the O2 deficit to overcome, there's the metabolic requirements, and if we're just looking at heart rate, who knows what's going on? We can't look retroactively, like post session, to check out, go, well, how hard were they going? And even in the long recovery, like the between interval session recovery between the reps, the sets, its heart rate's still going to be elevated. So maybe they're not technically recovering if we're just looking at heart rate, although we know active recovery is super useful in terms of helping clear those metabolic byproducts and set us up for the next interval. But if we're just looking at heart rate, again, you'll pretty much just be stood still on the side of the road waiting for your heart rate to come down, and that's like a passive rest. It's not useful. So here, that's where it comes about. So in something like this, no, not super useful.
Yeah, if we took the average of this rider's heart rate within this 5-minute block, it might be something like a zone 3 or zone 4. But that's not actually what was happening because the power was so high in those short intervals, right?
Yeah.
So the demands are absolutely totally different than what they would have been if they were doing like a 5-minute zone 3 or zone 4 effort.
Yeah. So it's just it's a time and place scenario where power is going to provide another tool in your toolkit, and in some sense heart rate is going to support that, and then vice versa, where for an aerobic zone 2 ride you can really understand what the input is with heart rate and see how power tracks to that. Is there a diversion? Is there a decoupling? Does power start at 200 watts and end at 100 watts after 2 hours, while heart rate stays standard, stays at 150 all the way across? And that's going to be useful. But then in this sense, you don't really need the heart rate. You can just use it as another measure.
Yeah. Like I'll still use heart rate in this kind of effort because it's really nice to see how quickly an athlete is able to, how quickly their heart rate comes down after a really hard effort, because that's handy and it shows that they're very aerobically developed. But remember, the heart rate is a response to what they're doing with their body. So a power is a direct mechanical measure of what they're doing with their body. Heart rate is a response to that power output and other variables.
That's right. So, well, we got heart rate, and heart rate has been around for kind of within training since 30 years easily, and well accepted since the 2000s for sure, late 90s. But since the 2005 and beyond, I can see heart rate monitors were coming standard with your device, whether that's running, whether that's cycling head unit. They threw in a heart rate strap. So people have had that data. They've gone through the process of making sure it's accurate. Power meters, sure, not as long, but the competition heated up and accuracy became a big point of contention.